It's Laura Mullinax and welcome to episode 3. Today we are going to make like one of the ultimate comfort foods. We are going to make pumpkin Pop Tarts. Now I know you think that you have to miss out on all the really good stuff just because you're trying to be healthy or you're wanting to lose weight or stay fit and you don't want all the sugar. Well, today we are going to make one that's made out of all healthy ingredients. And it's going to be high in protein and high in absolute yumminess, okay? So you ready? Let's get started. To begin, we are going to start with oatmeal. Now you can get rolled oats. I've got instant oats here. And what you do is you take 2.5 cups of rolled oats or instant oats and you're going to blend them into an oat flour. Now I put them in my blender here. So I've already done it, measured it into it, put it on the blender, got it to where it had a flour consistency. I've already poured some in here. I'm going to take the rest of this and dump it on down with the rest of it. So, down. All right, set that to the side. Then you're going to take our pumpkin pie spice. Now this is quite a bit of pumpkin pie spice. It is 2 tablespoons. So measure that out. 2 full tablespoons of the pumpkin pie spice. Now what we're doing right now, I'm going to mix that on in there, is we are making the dough, so the outer layers of the Pop Tart. And then once we get this baking, we will start making the filling. So mix that in really well. Now we're also going to add in a 1/2 scoop of Glamour Body Fitness, this vanilla Get Lean premium protein powder for women. It's my favorite. Remember, I was telling you on previous ones that this stuff tastes like ice cream. So when you add it into any recipe, I mean, it just makes it even more delicious. And it doesn't have any strong aftertaste. It's not chalky. It doesn't taste disgusting. It doesn't have like a metallic taste or anything. It tastes just like ice cream. And again, no after flavor, which is important. Okay. So we got that mixed in there. Next, we are going to add a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. So I have a pumpkin puree here, but I've already got one open, so I'm going to use the rest of what I've got open. And grab a 1/4 cup. So we're going to scoop that in there. Throw it down in. Come on. All right. We're going to mix that up. So when you're mixing this up, it should have a dough-like consistency. That's what we're looking for. The last ingredient to really make this a little bit wetter, so we can start forming the dough, is we're going to add in dates. So we're going to take 1 cup of hot water. Now, I already took hot water because you want to soften your dates before you do this. So I took 1 cup of hot water and then 15 dates, which is just about 1 cup of dates. And I soaked them. So I pitted them first and then soaked them, so that's what we see here. I did add an additional 4 because that's what we're going to use to make the filling. So I have 19 dates in here. But we're going to take 15 of those and we're going to put them in the blender with the water, with 1 cup of water, so that we can make, probably going to pour some of this water in there first. I'll measure it over here. So we can make the rest of our dough. So I'm going to measure 8 ounces out of this to equal 1 cup of the water. And then add in the 15 days. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So that leaves me a few more still in my bowl. I'll let this sit there. And we're going to go ahead and make this on the blender into our dough mixture. All right, so there we have that. Made it nice and smooth. You can see it. And we're just gonna scrape that, get this out of the way, into our oatmeal pumpkin spice mixture. Warming up. I don't know about you guys, but cooking makes me hot. Here we go. Okay. And it smells so good. It has that pumpkin and cinnamon and almost like a pie. We're gonna finish mixing that up. So I'll let you see this. So I'm stirring it up, creating our dough. Thoroughly mixed. You don't want to have, when you start pressing out your Pop Tarts, you don't want to have dry parts in it that make it fall apart. We're going to move to the next step. I'm going to grab a baking sheet and we'll start pressing these out. I pulled out a baking sheet and I just covered mine with aluminum foil. You're going to take your mixture, your dough mixture, and you're going to measure 1/4 cup out, and you're going to make 4 of these. Press them into squares once you get them on there. Because these are the bottoms of the Pop Tarts. Now that I have the 4 there, we are going to go ahead and just press them into a square. We're just going to take these 4 that they're finished and pop them in the oven for 10 minutes. And use the same container. I'm not going to rinse it out because we're using the same thing. So the other dates that I had left over, we're going to go ahead and throw them down in here. We're going to take another 1/4 cup of this pumpkin, the pumpkin puree, and poke it down in there. All right, set that to the side. Now we are going to take, we need 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. So I'm putting in 2 here because I'm using 1/2 teaspoon. Awesome. And then vanilla extract. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Perfect. Now, we're going to grab the top, put this back on the blender, and then our filling will be ready to go. So I just pulled the pumpkin filling off of the blender, and I'm going to go ahead and transfer it into another bowl for easier handling. So our filling is ready to go, and we're going to go ahead and check back and see how the bottom of our Pop Tarts are. Our Pop Tart bottoms just come out of the oven, so be careful. This pan is very hot, but we're going to move them over here because we're going to go ahead and add the filling. So we're going to take the filling that we made and we're going to take 2 tablespoons of it and put on each Pop Tart. So take the 2 tablespoons on each Pop Tart. And spread that around. Now that we got the filling, trading back, and we're going to go ahead and try to mold the top. So taking a 1/4 cup, just like we did with the bottom. This time we're going to try to mold this with our hands onto the top of the Pop Tart. Try to spread that out if we can. Just want to get it across the edges. I'm going to seal this off with a fork here and give it that Pop Tart look here in just a second. All right. First one down. Let's do the next one. All right. So here's the fun part. We're going to make these look like Pop Tarts. So we're going to take our fork and we're going to press down and make the edges and give it that Pop Tart. While this recipe is a little bit more of a process, it is definitely worth it. We have that. Pop it up so you can see it. We're gonna pop these babies back in the oven and we'll see you in 10. Besides the filling, one of my other favorite things is the frosting on a Pop Tart. It just doesn't look right without it. So we're gonna make a healthy version of one. Now my favorite, we're gonna use a yogurt. I'm gonna use an almond milk yogurt. My favorite yogurt to use is actually coconut yogurt. You can buy vanilla that's also unsweetened because we're gonna be sweetening it with the vanilla Gitling protein. They didn't have it at the store when I went though, so we are gonna use this vanilla almond milk one today. So I'm just gonna take the container of that and put it all down in a bowl. Again, for easier mixing, you could always mix it in it, but it would make a mess. So set that to the side. And then we're gonna take a half a scoop, again, of the Gitling protein. Actually, I'm gonna use about a fourth a scoop. I'm gonna use a fourth a scoop on that. I don't wanna get too, because we still want it to have that frosting consistency. We don't want it to be too thick. Let's see here. We'll start with that. See what it looks like. Okay. I think it looks good enough that we can go ahead and add the other fourth of that. Okay. I was worried about getting it too thick, and I don't want it to be too thick. I want it to have a nice and smooth and icing style consistency to it. All right, that looks pretty good. Looks like our Pop Tarts are done cooking. I'm gonna pull them out here to cool, and then as soon as they get cold, we're gonna put the icing on top. This just smells heavenly. Oh my gosh, so good. I think better than pumpkin pie. I tell you, better than pumpkin pie. Gosh, I cannot wait. It's time to do the good stuff and put the icing on top of the Pop Tart. Best part right here. Oh my gosh. This just looks divine. I'm telling you, you're gonna love this recipe. Make sure that you give it a try. You can go ahead and pick it up, put it on a plate. Doesn't that look so amazing? I cannot wait to eat it. Cut into this, oh gosh. And it's soft, with a little bit crisp on the outside. It's got that nice pumpkin filling. Let's taste it. Oh my gosh. You guys, no regrets. Worth it all. Cheers. Hey gorgeous, before you go, don't forget to go ahead and get your free copy of the Pumpkin Protein Cookbook. Go to glamourbodyfitness.com/pumpkin cookbook. From there, all you have to do is just enter in your email address and I will send it to you as fast as I can. It's going to include all 30 recipes that we are doing over the course of November. Also, if you're interested in getting the Glamour Body Fitness Gitling protein that we're using in the recipes, you can go to glamourbodyfitness.com/protein where you can order your own personal bag of vanilla Gitling. Now in the Pumpkin Protein Cookbook, I'm just using vanilla in all of the recipes, but we also have chocolate available. So if you want to order an extra bag, you can do that and get yourself some chocolate too. So that link again is glamourbodyfitness.com/protein.